Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello everybody and welcome back to Painting Watercolours with me, Colin. This is only a suggestion of how you could paint something. It's nothing set in stone. This is just Naples yellow, that's cobalt blue with some quinacridone red. Same mixture, just thicker. Same mixture again, that's thicker again for the cloud colour, but I just added some Venetian red. You can use light red for it if you have it. Doesn't really matter. And I've just put some masking fluid around the cottage just to keep it dry. And I'm just dropping some Naples yellow in the lower part of the sky. And I'm going to take some of the cobalt blue. It's like a blue violet colour. Straight in. Relatively weak. Gently bring those two colours together, and for some variation in it, I'm just going to clean that out. Take some of the thicker mixture of the same colour, and then we can drop some, just a thicker colour, just adds variation to the sky. Just put drops of it in. They just look like cloudy shapes almost. The board is laying flat. I'm just going to leave this for a short period of time and then I'll put the thicker colour in for the clouds. Okay, I've just left that about 10 minutes and I've got the cloud colour on, cobalt blue, quinacridone red with some Venetian red in it. And there's no water on the brush, this is just pure paint. And allowing it to settle, the paint, it settles into the grooves so that your clouds don't spread everywhere, and it just allows to fix the paint. And if you have no water on your brush and just pick the paint up, you shouldn't get any runbacks from it because there's no water on the brush to push the paint, because we won't be doing that today. And you can put some clouds in. Don't have too much paint on the brush, just think about your cloud shapes. Dance the brush in. Just softening off the bottom of part of it. Bring some into the light patches. Just taking the excess off. I would like some in the yellow, in the Naples yellow. And as they get lower down, they get stringier. Maybe just one in here. I don't really want to do any more to that for the clouds. One quick tip, if you're doing it in sections, what you can do with the unpainted area, you can run a wet brush into the white parts, and this will keep it stretched when you move on to your next section. I'm going to leave this to dry. I want to say dry, I mean so that the paint is fixed and all that shine has gone off the top part of the paper. Now that's dry, I've set the board at an angle and I'm just going to take some of the cloud colour and re-wet the background hills, and the board at an angle will allow these to run and come down. Cobalt blue with some quinacridone red and Venetian red in it. What I'm just going to do is add some water and bring this down. Now, just allow these to fade out. This type of painting where most of the paper is covered with paint is called Old English, which is appropriate for me. I am an Old English. You can strengthen it up in just one or two areas and just bring some variation into the wash. It just allows sort of some shadow to play into it without adding too much detail, and it adds a little bit more interest. To make it look like crags running down. A little bit of shadow on this. Okay, then you're going to let that dry. Now they're dry, I'm just going to do the same to this background hill. I do them separately because I don't want them to run together. If you want them to run together, you can wet the whole scene. I just don't want to do that, so I'm going to put a little stronger on. I have re-wet it. That's the ridge. If your paper is drying out at the bottom, like I said, just add another layer of water to it. This is a wet brush and I'm pulling it down through the water, just down towards the bushes, maybe a little more up here. Once again, just strengthening it up in parts, just adding variation, just pulling it down, taking up any excess water off away from the bushes. Just before we allow that to dry, re-wet the bottom part again, and then you can let that dry off. Now that your mountains and background is dry, I'm going to take a wet brush. I want to put some bushes in the background and I'm just tapping that in, just some water. I'm going to take some yellow ochre, I'm just going to drop this in. Not too strong. Yellow ochre is a pretty powerful colour. Let that drip down through the water. This is yellow ochre and raw umber. I'm going to drop this in as well. Just near the bottom. Just let this drift up. Then I just want to sort of wipe this into the field at the back, just allowing it all to drift. Don't want any detail in that. This is mixtures of burnt umber and French ultramarine. I'm just going to put the tops of these trees in with this. I'm not mixing it on a palette because I use a lot of it, so I have some of it already mixed up, ready to go. I just find it saves time. Pull some tops out. Just using the tip of the brush. Keep my head out of the way of the camera. And once I have that in, I'm just going to use an oval goat-haired mop brush. And we can begin to put these fir trees in. Just a gentle touch onto the paper. This is a picture, it's nowhere in particular, it's taken from quite a few photographs and some of it I just made up. If you make your own up sometimes, it makes you use your imagination instead of slavishly trying to copy a photograph, and then you get bogged down into the photograph colours instead of using your watercolour palette. You could leave them like that, but I do want to put a bit of extra dark in, so French ultramarine and burnt umber again, but this is very, very dark. Then when that's slightly dry, the background trees, and while it's still damp, is just add 1 or 2 drops of burnt umber and French ultramarine to this, but mixed onto the brown side. Just helps fortify your bushes, and then you can leave that to dry. Going to come to the trees now and the bushes, and I'm just going to take some yellow into there, and I just want to put some bright spots just where it's been nipped. I'm just using the oval brush again, and it's just touching the edges of the brush tips in. This is yellow ochre and quinacridone red, just different strengths of mixtures, just to give you some autumn colours. Get into the stronger mixture. Then I'm going to take some olive green straight out of the tube. little down here. Just going to build this up slowly. So yellow ochre and raw umber. French ultramarine and burnt umber. Just begin to, this is taken to the brown side. I do want to add some in just to start to darken one or two areas, especially along the bottom. Even darker mixture of it, just around the cottage area, just helps to bring it out. You could wait for each individual bush to dry, but it would take a long time. This will do a slight bit of merging together, which I don't mind. Just shows a nice mass. Just going to take some yellow ochre, just bring this into the field, catch the bottom of these bushes and just allow it to run just for a moment or two. Yellow ochre and raw umber. I do want a tiny bit of green into this. I'm going to take some of the olive green, just stroke this in, just allowing it all to mix. These colours will work well together. Take a little stronger colour of the olive green in the foreground. I'm going to take some of the French ultramarine and burnt umber, just on the browny side, flick some of this back. Softening the edges in. And I want to take some of the really dark French ultramarine and burnt umber, and I'm just going to drop this in along the bottom. Create some shadow out of this. Little in around the cottage. Pull this into the land. Just create a little bit of shadow. And then you're going to let that dry. Now that's dry, I just put some yellow ochre on the thatched roof house, put a door in with some red. It's always nice to get a bit of red on, put the windows in. And that's cobalt blue with just a touch of just a sky colour. Very, very thin, and I scratched in some branches. That's all I did. I'm going to carry on with the thatched roof, and what we're going to do is just stroke in some burnt umber and yellow ochre over the top. You just start to add a little bit of colour to it. Use a very dry brush on this. This is some light red. Now if I've used the tips of the brush, what you get is just lines, very fast lines through it. And I'm just going to go one more darker colour, French ultramarine and burnt umber. Just along the top. I'm going to go back to the sky colour once pen. Water that down, and I'm just going to add this into the path. French ultramarine, burnt sienna. I add some of this in, but I'm going to scratch some pebbles out on this. I'm just going to add it in for the moment. Just give that a couple of minutes. I'm just taking a palette knife. And I'm just going to scratch some stones in this of this. That's really all I want to do with that. This is where you get to sign it, mounting, frame it. Please, if you've enjoyed this, click the like button and subscribe. Please use the comments section, it does help with YouTube's algorithm, and click the like button should you wish to put a couple of birds in the sky. And we'll call that one finished. Thank you very much for watching.